Hey everybody. Ooh, epic music. I love epic music. That's the best. Uh-oh. Alright, to like move some stuff around. Give me a sec. Let's not rattle the mic. Oh. And then I bonk it, of course. Hi everybody! Hey, welcome! Welcome back. It's, ooh, camera's off center. There we go, that's a little better. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to the stream, everybody! My hair is a little fricked up. There we go. Did I fix it? Maybe? Okay, cool. Yeah, welcome back. Sorry for the wait. I was waiting for my boba to come in, and then I forgot that I had also heat up water to make tea as usual. I forgot. So, I was doing a couple things before we started, but, you know, it's not been too long, so. Anyway, yeah, welcome back, everybody. Hope y'all are having a good weekend. We're gonna start a new game. We're not gonna stream super long, I hope. I say that, but like when I've said that before, sometimes we stream just as long as intended. Yeah, let's pause the orchestra music. Yeah, we're starting a new game, the Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations game. This is a very... I hear this one's different, but I don't remember exactly how. Obviously we're not lawyering as Phoenix, so there's at least gonna be that much. But, yeah, it's the next game of the series. Figure let's check it out, since we finished Trials and Tribulations and thereby the main trilogy last week. So there's no sound yet, so I wasn't able to, like, do setup yet, so I don't know how the sound's gonna be. Let's see. Options. Yeah, let's do that. I wish it would test it. Like, that would be really nice. Will this make the screen shake? I'm running this through, a phone emulator, but I did legitimately buy the game, so I purchased it. Can I have touchscreen controls? Because I'm going to be using my mouse, right? What does low spec mode mean? I don't know. Okay. We're going to go with this. We're going to see how this goes. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I don't know how much reading there is. I don't know what the playstyle is. Brand new adventure. And as much as I remembered little about the other games, I know even less about this one. So, yeah, let's just dive in and see how it goes. How about that? Episode 1, Turnabout Visitor. From episode start, yeah, because, I mean, brand new game. I wonder if you guys can hear my clock in the background. That's my FF7 grandfather clock. Don't worry about it. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. And a load of question marks. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. Why is the Steel Samurai back there? That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter the cost. Sorry, no matter what the cost. Oh, did someone just kill someone in Edgeworth's room? In his office. So rude. So rude. Who the heck is this guy? I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Oh, the text thing is weird. March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutors Building, 12th floor hallway. The text scrolling in this game sounds really weird. I don't know if I like this. Oh, that's cute! We got a little pixel art Edgeworth. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. Alright, the sound's a little loud, isn't it? We'll lower that. The first chance we get, we'll lower it. Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office. And keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe. What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood. There's a dead body in your office, buddy? What the? What's the meaning of this? That is indeed a dead body in Edgeworth's office. Freeze! Identify yourself! Oh, sorry, that was Edgeworth. Identify yourself. Now I got a voice or a ceiling. Shut up! Got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Isn't that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Edgeworth is having a time. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrust into a multitude of cases in some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Are we gonna get pixel art this whole time? Because that's pretty cool. Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. He looks good! When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct. And the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine, however. Ah! Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say. The culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Well, sounds like you're really getting burned up over this whole thing! This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Haha, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth! Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep many leads or information we have etched into the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Crime scene, my office. Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? Is this how Edgeworth thinks? Is this a deep dive into the mind of Sir Miles Edgeworth? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the pop filter into the mic with my boba. Boba may have been a mistake. It's very sugary, not too good for your throat. Logic! We have a logic button? I love logic. I'm getting the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? The office key. For security reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. I mean, isn't that just kind of a thing that you want? I mean, shouldn't all offices have a lock on them? You would think that, like, all offices should have a lock on them. Unless the building itself is always, like, secure and you can always keep an eye on anybody who's visiting. Like, it's a really small office. But a big building like this, you don't want visitors walking randomly into any old place, you know? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First, I recall information through the logic button, and then connect them together. Is this the tutorial? Now, to touch the logic button and recall the facts. So obvious. Crime scene, my office. The office key. Select who leads to connect. It's really kind of okay. I thought it was gonna be like a drag thing, but fine. Just click on it. I mean, the obvious question is, like, why do they have his key, you know? For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. Alright, we got some streamer tea to offset the boba tea. Which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime scene as a mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, it may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get our investigation. Let's get started on our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. Hi, prosecutor's office, rooms 1202. What did that say? Investigation start? Begin investigation. Okay. Sometimes I'm glad there's a stream delay, because then I can go look at my manager and be like, oh look, there it is. The basics of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. When I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button. If you ever feel lost and want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you a great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. I don't know about that, Gumshoe, but sure. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. No, options? Whoa. That don't do what I thought it would. Oh yeah, here's the options button. Okay. We're gonna lower the BGM because it's a bit loud. Save your progress? Yeah. Alright, let's check this out. What's in the organizer? Prosecutor's badge, type other, one of my possessions, proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. How come their badge is so much nicer than the attorney's badge? Logic. Lead the killer's goal. Why did this happen in my office? Okay. Examine. Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set. And it all set up, ready for when you got back. Figured we could play a few games. I have no idea you were interested in chess. Sorry, chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. They are completely different games, Gumshoe. In that case, I suppose I can set up some time aside after we solve this case. I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. I finished with photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I want to rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey! I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinky-dink. Gumshoe, you're so special. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. According to his badge and ID, Buddy Faith was a precinct detective. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Type documents, discard my office, crime scene notes jotted down in my organizer. Okay. Are you gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. This is like in the mind of Miles Edgeworth. This is interesting. I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Oh, really? That's evidence. And then okay, that just gives us a photo. Okay. Switch tabs. Oh, here we go. Detective in the precinct and the victim. Why was he killed in my office? Homicide detective at the local precinct in charge of the initial investigation. Neat. I don't believe it. I packed those files on these shelves so tight. And not even an earthquake would make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. Problem, to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. Wouldn't that, like, kind of imply that something was taken, maybe? Killer's goal, victim was a detective. Your files are all over the floor, sir. Probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. My files are a mess pointing to a struggle between the victim and the killer. Okay. I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I water the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I decided cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean the place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? The answer is no. I mean, we already clearly know that he doesn't have a life. Okay. I think that's all we're gonna get out of here. I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. Nah, that's not what I wanted to do. I thought maybe it would be something new, but... Now, watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir. The killer's going to pay. This tea set. Yikes, you're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. Ooh. Sometimes a nice tea set can be very expensive, but that's a lot. Except for considering the fact that Gumshoe doesn't make a whole bunch, but I mean, still. It's a very expensive tea set. What? Ah, I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Nope, same convo. I wish I could skip it. Can we look at the desk? It's been a while since I've sat at this desk. Oh, how I've missed you. So tidy that it looks newer than when I first bought it. Haha, yeah, that thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time as away, detective. My job is to protect your office, sir. You did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. That's harsh, sir. I have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. That's quite sad. Ah, it's their trophy, the, Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors. It's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself. That's actually a pretty healthy mental attitude to have, guys. That's so slick, sir! I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime. Fortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Well, it's a good thing my steel samurai doll was spared any harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of New Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and The Nickel Samurai, along with the deluge of merchandise, even a new stage show, gives it presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. I don't know about that, Edgeworth. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers? The ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy. Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns. Wendy, isn't that the name of the old lady with the whiny voice that stop? That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further. How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprints lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. Hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on the sofa. That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir? Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think you can afford to take any time off. So that's a gun. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? Hey, 21 Snakes, what's up? How's it going? How's your weekend? Started a new game. It's the Edgeworth game. This is definitely a very interesting and different take. And we get to like kind of see into the mind of Miles Edgeworth with the buttons. So I'm like, well, that's neat. It's like having a little bit of a change of pace without having too big of a change in story, you know? My weekend's been pretty good, but kind of busy this morning, so I was hoping to do some 14 early today, but yeah, we had to do a bunch of errands. We got the Christmas tree finally, and then found out that some of the ornaments had broken and needed a Christmas surgery. So we got some super glue, and they're kind of all drying right now. But we put up like 3/4 of the ornaments, and we gotta finish up the rest once the other ones dry. We were missing like 3 pieces still that we have to go find. So. Oh yeah, and then I gotta wrap gifts, so that's my tomorrow also. Busy, but productive. And then now we get to play this! Nice, relaxing evening of playing some Ace Attorney. In this case, it's more like, I guess this is gonna be just the investigative part? I don't really know. I have no idea what we're in for. It's very different. It's cool though. I like it. Decorating for Christmas never goes smoothly. No, it doesn't. Well, okay. In previous years, it has usually been sort of straightforward. But then this year, it's like, well, the lights don't work anymore. Apparently, somehow, like, they decided that they just wanted to, like, quit. So now we have to buy new lights. And then, like, the incident with the ornaments, and now they're drying. So we'll go finish those later. But at least the star works. The star was perfectly fine. So, there's that. It's fine. Once it's up, and after this, it'll be all good. And then tomorrow I wrap presents and throw them under there, and we'll be all good. Okay. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. We're investigating. So there was a murder in Edgeworth's office. That's just how this started. So, like, he comes back from a trip after being gone for a month and is like, it smells like blood. And then somebody calls him up at gunpoint. They don't say anything. They just hold him at gunpoint, and then they shoot the portrait. And then they just back out, and he calls the police, and it's like, well, now we're gonna investigate. So, here we are, in the very beginning of the game. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? Time for solving crimes the Edgeworth way? Yeah, apparently so. If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. You've been playing the game too? Perfect. Good job. I hope you're enjoying it. I think I've seen one of these before. Is this the victim's gun? Care to enlighten me as to where? How? I know! How is this the exact same model? I think. Go Gumshoe, you're so clueless. Why is that picture of Edgeworth at gunpoint so badass? Yeah, it was pretty cool, right? It's been so long since you played this game. I think I played it, and I feel like I have played it once, like a very long time ago, but I literally remember, like, absolutely nothing. Like, I remember even less of this than I did the first game of Phoenix Wright. Which is to say, like, none of this seems familiar to me at all. Not even remotely, and I'm just like, well, it's like I've never played it before, so that's cool. It's like, I didn't even know that there was, like, pixels, and I was like, that's cool. I love pixel sprites. It's free roaming. That's cool. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. Oh, Gumshoe. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. Sprites roaming was genius? Yeah, that's very cool. I don't use mine much except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. Never change, Gumshoe, never change. So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by the precinct's detectives. Revolver found at the crime scene is the same model as those used by precinct detectives. Perfect. Seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. What if I want to talk to this dude first? No? Okay. Fine, we'll logic. The killer's goal. Victim was a detective. I mean, it was probably his gun, right? The revolver that's standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Still haven't stopped thinking about the end of TNT. I know! It was so crazy! I was just like, this can't be the way it's going. And then it just takes you there with Godo being the perpetrator. You're just like, what the hell is going on? It was nuts. It was very fun, though. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I know, it was just a non-ending, like, roller coaster. You're just like, I'm buckled in, let's go! It was fun. Yes, sir! On it now, sir! Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What do we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! This guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Victim's revolver data jotted down in my organizer. Perfect. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. One of my cats is doing something under the desk. As I always say, you've got to look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Thanks. Use the slide bar to zoom in and out and get at the nitty-gritty. What are you doing, cat? Just ran into my chair. Well, examine. It looks like only one round was fired from this. That's interesting because there was definitely... The murderer had to have fired at least 2 shots because he fired one, obviously, to kill the victim, and the second one was used to threaten Edgeworth when he walked into the office. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just 1 shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to Jim! Why, oh why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, but I can't do that. This investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. Body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him! Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure, just in a blood-stained suit, pal. What the? He just slapped me with his tail under the desk and then left. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Portsman? Why, yes, I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So, you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office? Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim! Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office's doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. And that is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. Why did it take you until now to get the pun in Portman's name? Jacques Portman? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the pun is. I'm sure it'll come to me later. But if there's anything I learned... Jock. Oh, Jacques. Jock. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Oh, Lord. Every single name in this damn game is a pun. So I expect nothing less. Still deep in the puns, yeah. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Gumshoe, that's maybe not the right thing to say right now. Yeah, Gumshoe's name is literally Detective. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. Gumshoe! So it was you then! You're Jim's killer! No, wait, pal, you've got it all wrong! Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? All right, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the greatest genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Pass. No touchy. We're in pandemic times, no touchy. Pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your own investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on, then. It's your room, after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir! That was an interesting bro shake. Nice place a character who has two brain cells to rub together. I know, right? It was like that when you got to investigate as Edgeworth in the last case in TNT. I was just like, oh my god, he's actually smart. His thoughts about everything actually make sense. What a concept! I want you to capture the scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. I should probably give them some space. How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. This picture's too important to mess up. Leave the man to his art. Your files are all over the place, sir. You probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. And I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this has just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day, every Saturday I'd come in and clean the place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? No, he doesn't. Mr. Portsman, a word, if I may. Should give them some space and then we run straight into his face? Yep, that's how we work. Jim, I swear, I'll find your killer and bring them to justice. You wait and see. It'll be for the both of us. Now then, you wanted to talk to me about something? No, that's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation. Well, we can't exactly leave. What if we talk to Gumshoe? No, let's logic. Killer's goal, signs of a struggle. Why his office? You called, sir? Notice anything? Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. The investigation's just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, are you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was the whole messy affair. Gosh, that's rough. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective. Sorry, sir. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe. Of course, sir. Examining things by pointing to touch them and then touching the examine button. By checking various things out, we gather evidence and information. You can see the evidence we've collected by touching the organizer button. For information leads to the logic button. That's it! Great job, sir. Deductive Reasonable is the way to go. I don't... Gumshoe. It's called Deductive Reasoning, Detective. Clearly something you lack. Seem to have picked up a few good leads. Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all that information, right? They just said fuck the fourth wall? Yeah, yep. What are you babbling about? That brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. He said that you can look at all your leads and info by touching the logic button. Then you pick the pieces you want to connect by touching them and hitting connect. That's your way of investigating, right, sir? Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary. Okay, then how about I explain my logic to you next? That is even more unnecessary. Crime scene notes? I'm just a lowly detective, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to arrest it. Is that the only talent you have? Oh, wait. Victim's gun, huh? It's the same model as mine. A tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take lives away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. I hope you understand that. I don't really use my gun at all, sir. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict to look ultra cool. You were doing so well until that last bit. Oh, Gumshoe. How did you get so special, Gumshoe? Okay, let's check the organizer. Switch tabs. Hi, prosecutor with his prosecutor's office. It's my first time speaking with him. Ultra cool. Well... I mean, what is there to do besides more logic? It's not like we can go anywhere. Shove your badge in everyone's face? Okay. Only because it's the right thing to do. Your prosecutor's badge is really thin compared to my police badge. Hell, but it's really cool, sir. Much, much cooler than my badge could ever be. There's no need to suck up to me, detective. It's so much fancier than the attorney's badge. It also looks very Edgeworth, I have to say. Alright, let's see. Let's try connecting these. They struggle, like... I feel like they were in here maybe because they wanted to grab one of the files. Let's see if we... Oh, it'll deduct something if we're wrong. That's okay, it's all we got, so let's do it. Let's at least see the dialogue. Can't see a clear connection between these two pieces of information. Nope. Okay, now we know what happens if you don't have a connection. What can we look at? I mean, that's the gun. Oh, we could talk to him. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir! Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir! And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes. Talk about a contradiction. Something out of the ordinary, huh? Should look around a bit more. Oh, now I can look over here at the painting because he's out of the way. Or, sorry, at his handgun jacket. My bad, not painting. Huh, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? Must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. Phoenix, he's thinking about him! But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. Right here. And this is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. With conviction! And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. There's only one round fired. Eureka! Eureka! Oh my god, Edgeworth. You silly, silly man. This is how I do things. This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. And the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right! However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too! Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here? By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. Secret safe? Oh, I smell money. Well, spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Talk about dusty. Suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. But what's this, This looks like it's been cleaned. Like they wiped the fingerprints off of it. I had no idea there was a safe here. I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial's in session. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Secret safe data jotted down in my organizer. I won't rest until I've inspected everything suspicious. Sorry, everything suspicious looking. Nook and cranny. Every suspicious looking nook and cranny. I can talk today, I promise. And this is odd. Found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Would you please dust this area for fingerprints? One thing you remember, be prepared to hear that declaration a lot. Is it Eureka? Are we talking about being prepared to say Eureka? Is that our new objection because we're not in court? Let's talk about every nook and cranny. Oh no. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. All of the fingerprints on this have been wiped off clean. Secret safe data updated in my organizer. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. You don't want to just open... Okay. Killer's goal. And wiped fingerprints. What was the killer after? Probably the safe. I believe I figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe. Making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Motive theft? Question mark? Wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Motive theft? Culprit tried to open my safe. What was the killer's motive theft? Signs of a struggle and another handgun. Select 2 leads to connect. Maybe these. Let's give that a go. The pieces don't fit together quite right. Okay. Why are they struggling? I mean, it's telling me to do something, so maybe this. And there's a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. How? You mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at the library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And, so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it! Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal! Okay, done. Hey, look! Wouldn't you imagine that as another bullet hole? It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. Interesting. Handprints? Bloody handprints up here and here. And then something was wiped there. This is a little weird. Huh, I don't know. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm not good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Why is this so low to the ground? So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? The bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. And I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Well, the victim's handprints must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot. There are prints on the floor, too. Those must have been made when unable to stay standing. He dropped to the floor. This is weird, because if he was shot standing, then why is there another bullet hole there, you know? It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Ah, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants have blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. I brought them all back just as they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. Put them all back as they were. Killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. Yeah. Oh, I guess this is new. So yeah, I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. They were just talking about the blood on his pants. Again. Put them all back as they should be. I mean, we gotta deduce, right? this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Only one shot fired. I mean, maybe to the gun. Should I check for the bullets, maybe? This is clearly where the contradiction lies. I don't really see what's so wrong with that spot. Ha, you don't understand? You see, therein lies the contradiction. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. It'd be nice if you just admit it when you're wrong. That wasn't a mistake. That was me keeping on your toes, detective. I mean, no, this is weird. I just don't know what the thing is. Another handgun. Maybe another gun in play. Like, how do I get them to think about how this bullet hole's in the wrong place? Because if he was shot standing up, then the bullet hole shouldn't be down here. Well, it's like, where did this bullet hole come from? That's a really cool emote, by the way. Let's see. Only they know them prints were wiped. One shot fired. Body was found around 2:05 a.m. Bullets went clean through the victim's abdomen. Maybe I should represent that. Hold up, let's save. Yeah, we'll just save. It's fine. Because it says that the thing was shot through his abdomen. There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. What if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. That means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. It was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? Position of the body, position of the handprints, order the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh. Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with a number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They're exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Ha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. There we go, that makes more sense. You think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved? I finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it logically should be. Whoa, what's this? SOE? The fuck? The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith, and then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. Oh, sorry. That must have been Gumshoe. My bad. Read the wrong voice. Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before, once after the crime, But why? Culprit rearranged my files twice, once before and once after the murder. Why? Now that the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder, time to give it another look. What the fuck is this? This. Gumshoe! What's the matter? Or sorry, what is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? And why is there a file missing? OH. I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of a criminal activity indeed. No, wait! There's gotta be some mistake! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Help me! Say something, sir! It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Oh, Gumshoe. Is this really what the killer was after? Stolen file data jotted down in my organizer, discovered in my office. Okay, stolen file. Investigation complete! Cool. Hey, we recharged. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me! You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? That's how you want to play it. Then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it! I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw in his logic. Flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. Oh lord, okay. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Tutorial. Let's just see what he says. Let's see how he says it. Alright. First, I listen to the witness's testimony. Time for the discourse. If I find a flaw in the testimonies, something that contradicts the evidence, I open the organizer and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply touch the present button. That's old news. It's not like there's gonna be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness by touching the press button. Works just like court. Sometimes by pressing I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. Think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Is this gonna make Gumshoe a better detective? This case is the definition of a tutorial case. Every other sentence is a tutorial. Yep. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed the theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it will be by his final words that you'll be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest! You sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe's the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic, and expose it with credible evidence. Rebuttal! It's not a cross-examination because we're not in court, it's a rebuttal. This is cute. Alright, let's press everything because it's fun. Detective Gumshoe stole the gun.
Hold it!
No, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go go together like peanut butter and jam. Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jock and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim.
This guy has no respect for other people. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Mess up the files to make it look like he committed the theft.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to just shovel my shells twice to do that?
That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life's getting a little too rough to handle.
I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Oh, poor Gumshoe. You poor boy!
Poor thing! What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. And what a motive, no?
Move Jim's body.
Hold it!
And then how would he take the file? Was missing salary cutting noises. Oof. And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing?
Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway.
Didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think the killer didn't notice the bloody letters?
The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something.
Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal! Poor Gumshoe.
There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone.
Can't say I disagree with him on that point.
Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth!
Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence.
I couldn't ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike.
By his final words, he'll be brought to justice.
Hold it!
He's saying that those letters were intended for you.
Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner.
Looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters.
What are you sputtering about over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound?
Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Alright, further didn't notice the bloody letters the body was hiding.
Yeah, buddy.
There's a file missing. How do you, like, not see that? Plus, like, you would have had to grab the file before the body fell over. This just so much. Let's go.
Objection!
Objection! I love it. It sounds so good. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there's a serious flaw in your logic.
Bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game.
Can't help but find it odd.
Excuse me?
Odd that a fellow prosecutor would be brought down by the power of his own office.
What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it.
If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file.
What? That's impossible.
What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Nothing.
Files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner. I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. And there wouldn't be any blood on them. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I only doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. His face was so good. Did you guys see that? Which means, not exactly. What does that make this dying message? It makes the work of the criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir! Full agape, yep. I'm gonna get him, sir! You'll see! I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time! Well, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant! Absolutely splendid! Logic deserving of Olympic gold! I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Meh, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. Why is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me! Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Where did he get that coat? What are you doing? That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? He's been wearing it, has he? Why do you have a fucking lab coat, you weirdo? What is he doing? Well... Rather not wearing it? Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking, did you know there's one other person with a key to this office? He's preening. Oh my lord. Is it the security guard? One other person. Oh, he was holding it! Hey, you there! Yes, sir! What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch that and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't! What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Oh my god, is that Maggie? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security. Wasn't she working at that horrible French restaurant? Oh, Maggie. Detective Gumshoe, sir! Maggie! Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see. Your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room! That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal! We've already gotten her off for murder twice. Why would she risk it by doing a murder now? It was me! That's right, I did it! Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal! So yeah, it was me! If it was you, you'd have no problem with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's an argument instead of testimony. Gumshoe, you're trying. Yeah, he is. He's this poor boy. He's trying so hard. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key. Master key data jotted down in my organizer. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? And that's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. You pretending you're a tennis star? It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Miss Portsman to give me more details is to press him. Sorry, Mr. Portsman. Reason for suspicion. Pretty obvious, he says. Pretty obvious. Are you saying Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? It's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes. Moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Yeah, ask for more details. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Ha! A likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, that's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. I don't know if that's something to be proud of. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Intent was theft, he says. Thievery. I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe... Hey, good thinking. Asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? If Gumshoe didn't open the door... Thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make me that face. See, there goes the truth, running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. Ha, but we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door. And that leaves only Miss Bird. Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else? Have you know I've never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. She knows her good detective, doesn't she? Yeah, she does. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about. Sir? We're holding our collective breath, you know. For when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Oh, Edgeworth, you're a terrible liar. Phew, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. All the more probable she's the one who faked the message.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence! I would love to. But first, we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying. And press him for more information. Say thievery. Are you saying that I haven't pressed enough? I think I've pressed on all these. From the messed up shells to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. Saving. But she wouldn't have known about the safe. Why would you steal a file? Like, what's she gonna do with that? Alright, let's check it out. Let's try it. Objection! Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! Perfect. Good face right here. Find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident when she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
And are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable.
He looks nervous. Is this fake? He's biting on it.
What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Hey!
Curses! What made you?
What's with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault!
What do you mean?
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What did you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
And that means...
Yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder?
Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that, not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office.
Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Huh? Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief?
I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense.
Has he no honor?
Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out?
Can't kick us out, this is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. Who put this douchebag in charge?
But sir!
We have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now.
Ha!
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again.
If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear?
To be continued. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So then what now?
Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch.
Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Eh? Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the Master Key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mysteries surrounding my door. Begin investigation! Dr. Maggie. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case.
I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream! A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth!
Can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the Master Key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. You're wearing a long red shirt and you're subbing? She's so happy. She's so happy right now. The victim. Have you ever met the victim before?
Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office.
If you're wearing a long red shirt and you're subbing, you have a tendency to slip into some Edgeworth tendencies. Perfect. Perfect. That sounds like fun. Just once I'd have loved to play with them.
It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective? Friggin' ball hog? Yeah, rude. She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day, she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night.
You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct?
Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. Holy shit, how are you alive? I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now, I even managed to be named a criminal just when I'd become a security guard.
And that's a lot to go through in one lifetime.
I know! And just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck.
You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yeah, it is a miracle she's living.
Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help.
Tell me about the key. So, when did you discover that the Master Key was missing?
By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m.
Found at 2:05 a.m. Got it.
It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times it was not just gone, but stolen, sir.
Key was missing from approximately 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place?
It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window.
Always, you say? Except for this time, correct?
Well, I admit that I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time.
It was after I had used it that I left it sitting on the ledge. She used the master key? Wanna tell me more about that? What did you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. Yep, that's totally not suspicious. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. Hold on, we gotta show you my badge first, because we gotta show it to everybody. It's tradition. That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor. Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try that on, just for a little bit? I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? I guess not. On second thought, they're actually on the same level. It's so nice to be playing someone smart. Alright, tell me more. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to the security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then? What happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. His key was used to unlock Portsman's office at 12 a.m. and 1:30 a.m. Okay, so that means it wasn't missing around 1 a.m. because she went in... She had to go use it to lock up his office. So the actual time of it being missing was between 1:30 and 2:30. Talk about suspicious! Doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Thanks, Maggie. Can I look at my door? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops! Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir! They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Alright, here's my thoughts. Portsman's the murderer, obviously. He got Maggie not to open his office, but Edgeworth's office by sliding the plates out and switching them. Right? I think so. Minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break in by force. It's almost majestic, sir. I wish I could be as stately as this door. Only Gumshoe would praise a door something greater than himself. That's harsh. Being a detective has its own rewards, and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, it's a poignant trait that anyone can admire. I see! So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. Sorry, Gumshoe. I don't always know if I really want you to be you, honestly. Why is this out here? I want to rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's... Ah, isn't this the missing... The missing O-series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. The thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So, what are those O files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. And that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are still missing. Or sorry, are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know? Oh my gosh. You would sleep even out here, detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime to envision myself winning, naturally. Basketball? What is a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. Not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in the hallway. Why is this here? Why is Payne here? What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. Oh my lord. All the way up to the 12th floor. Is everything alright? Yes, sir! If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. Word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of a prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly, post-haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? You don't know Payne. That's funny. You want to rest until expected Yeah, you and your nook and crannies. Okay, got it. This door is locked tight. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Really doesn't know Payne? Yeah, you probably never met the dude. Aha, so I guess only a great cat burglar would get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office? Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Bah. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? Up, just the door convo again. How do I get out of this? Dignified. Oh, shit. No, it was actually different dialogue. Alright, we gotta do it again. I'm sorry. Alright, we'll do it again. Minimalistic classic door. It's kind of majestic, too. Fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's office. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Is that what Payne's up to these days? That's funny. Alright, let's logic some shit. Master key was stolen. These are a contradiction. Connect. Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story.
What? No way, pal. I mean, sir?
You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time.
Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I had totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time I realized the master key was missing.
And?
Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir.
You pretended?
Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking it up, sir.
So in actuality, you never did relock the door then?
Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly.
Mr. Portsman's office data jotted down in my organizer. Discovered in the hallway of the prosecutor's building. This door is not supposed to be locked properly. Won't rest till he's inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Is this spot somehow connected in the evidence you hold? Yeah, your door's not supposed to. Miss Bird unlocked the door, but master key was stolen, so she couldn't lock it up. But it's locked tight. Ready? Eureka! There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right! Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door?
I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't.
Which means, what, sir? Either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one.
She
opened a different door? But how can you prove that? It's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these. Prints on the master key, prints on the door, prints on the number plate. Prints on the number plate. They will tell us all that we need to know.
Everything? Really? Like what, sir?
Like, well, for example, such as... oh, not the number plate? Well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How'd you know?
Is that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, that's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what it is that we need to do, and that is... we need to examine these prints on the doorknob. I mean, I imagine he would have wiped down the master key, but Maggie's print should be on the doorknob, right? Prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you! Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what'd you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril-flaring, detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Face prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, certain other prints should be on this knob as well.
Now then, whose prints should also be on this doorknob? Maggie's.
Take that!
Yep, they should. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean? Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Mr. Portman's office data updated my organizer discovered in the hallway. What have we here? Presto, we inspected every suspicious looking cranny. What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Ah, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone, but it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up with you later, buddy. Looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. Note left by the victim, data jotted down in my organizer. Interesting. This basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. It doesn't matter what sport it is. He's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective. Yeah. Alright, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean up his toys after he's done playing. I think that we've reached the end of this conversation. Oh, Gumshoe. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game? It's been moved. It's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. Guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. I better take note of this. Basketball hoop data jotted down in my organizer. Investigation complete. Okay. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the real killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I know it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. March 14th, 5:12 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letters, sir. All right, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take care of this. Ah! Nice. Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. And the line for you, Mr. Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jock Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the eyes of a prosecutor doing his job? I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Ha! Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy.
really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves, even though you have yet to prove anything? No, I dropped my wrist rest. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. I'm good. We're all good. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, but we are not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. Suppose you're basing your accusations on something? I'll show you what I'm basing my accusations on, with evidence. Mr. Portsman's rebuttal. No idea what we're talking about. My accusation is a harebrained idea, is it? You tell me. I'd say it is, after all. Mountain of evidence that he's saying that points away from him? Tell me more. Oh, and what, pray tell, kind of evidence are we talking about here? Jim was my partner, so you can't say I had a motive for killing him. And that's it? That's not even an anthill, let alone a mountain. But it's more than enough, wouldn't you agree? Might I recommend that you review what the word evidence means? It doesn't change the fact that the evidence doesn't point to me as the killer. How did he unlock the door? We know. Unfortunately, I believe you have already shown how earlier. Your speculations mean nothing, as I still insist that I could not gain access to your room. What should I do now? Should I raise an objection? Let's do it. You claim to have had no way to open my door. However, is that really the honest truth? Ha! Alright, I'll humor you. Go ahead, shoot. Very well. Then I propose that you use this to open my door. Bird said she unlocked, but her prints were not found on the doorknob. I mean the master key. He did use the master key. I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kinda forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know. But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You have quite the imagination. But why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yet, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Ha! And how do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, he then used one other thing to give a very strong impression. He moved the basketball hoop, didn't he? The door she was opening was yours and not, in fact, mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? The basketball hoop.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite peculiar. It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why it left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. Gah! Look at his face. So shocked he bent backwards. That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the doorway was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit in front of my office, to be sure. I see! So that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack. Conjecture's rebuttal. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. So he intends to claim his innocence to the end, does he? I'm as pure and innocent as my jacket. And Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears. My jacket is not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one that was truly covered in slime here. Conjecture's rebuttal.
Hold it!
Nonsense, you say? Yes, because I'm telling the truth here. And the girl opened his door.
Hold it!
Using the master key, of course. Sure, you have a problem with that. That is what the master key is for, right? Perhaps we should place it in an elaborate labyrinth of some sort for people like you. In his room the entire time?
Hold it!
And what were you doing in your office? I was doing my usual training regimen. Training regimen? Were you going through your law books from start to finish? Mainly batting practice and some weights. Oh, and I jog when I get the chance. Wow, you must be the buffest prosecutor we have. With the weakest legal muscles, it would seem. I was doing my usual workout, so... Don't have a reason to suspect him? Lies. I think I've given you quite a few reasons, actually.
Objection!
But none of those would stand up on their own.
Objection!
Then what about all the evidence?
Objection!
It's all circumstantial. No judge would ever convict on such flimsy evidence. He seems to be trembling a little. One more little push. All I have to do is find the flaw in his testimony. Girl opened his office after he was in his room. No, he left at about 1:30 because she locked up. Alright, where's the thing that says that she supposedly locked it at 1:30? Oh wait, this says that he wasn't there. Brought 3 pieces of it, but just start talking. Looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up with you later. Yeah, he wasn't there. Alright, let's try this. Objection! That was a lie. What are you talking about? How was that a lie? This is a note for the victim. This is the note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door, or did you not notice? If you go into your room, how is that the thing you miss? I know, right? Hold up, the cat's here. Let's put him on the screen. Look at that good boy. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is this pointing? Oh, nope. Sorry, this thing got in the way. Thing that was on my shelf. There we go. Now you can see the good boy. Look at him. We pato the cato. Pato the cato! He deserves to be pet. Stop rubbing your face on everything and get on the camera. Little cutie. Look at this cutie pie. You're a very good cat, Chiriko. Look at him. He's so happy to see you all. High five? He slapped me. So cute. He is softballs. It's fine. High five? No? Want me to rub your head? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's continue. No, you're not done? I want to play my game. You're like, no, you must pet me, for I am adorable. You are. You really are. Okay. Kindly don't rub your face on the mic. Thank you. It was left under your door, or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you and what were you doing? Ah! Ha ha ha. Look at his face. Shall I explain it in full detail for you? You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense! You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for me. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. No way! This is proof positive that you had Miss Bird open the door for you. Her prints were not on your doorknob.
Take that!
And your door dusted for prints. My door? Huh, what for? Come on, I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything, and definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints? What do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. She really was the one who opened your door. And her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Further, all the prints on my office doorknob would have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? I know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Faith found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Faith to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. And just what's so funny, pal? Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's just nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that doorknob down as well. Huh? I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be there. You made that up just now, didn't you? Nope, there goes the cat. Excuse me.
Furthermore, as for the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office.
Then wouldn't you have seen it?
Let me check.
Nope, no way to know.
Like early evening, for example.
He's saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway.
Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters, although that's no excuse. And that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size. But you can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here.
Portsman makes a good point. Can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it.
Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only realized that I had one just now as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner.
Portsman's alibi.
If memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? And it was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. But at exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe.
Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsman said. The guys down in criminal affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see?
All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Came back to this office around 2 a.m.
Hold it!
You are correct. It was around 2 a.m.
Are you sure? It's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
Body was found at around 2:05. I mean, got nothing. I got nothing here. I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2.
Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
You had fortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Hold it!
It is as you say, however.
Yes, however, you are the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
I'm beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
He was down in criminal affairs, he says. So you paid the criminal affairs department a visit.
Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Ask around?
Hold it!
Well, we did go and ask around to confirm your testimony.
And it was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said they saw you at around that time.
See, I have the perfect alibi. That's the ace I had up my sleeve.
Impossible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face?
Can't you say anything back, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we've reached the end of the line and it's time to get off this crazy train. You there! Sir, please escort the young lady out, but remember, be gentle.
Maggie!
Detective Gumshoe! Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn the situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on his alibi? The intruder I met could not have been Portsman, then who could it have been? Need to calmly think this through one more time, and with logic.
Oh, we're in logic mode.
Files are in disarray. Once before and once after the murder. Why? Another gun. Okay. Could there be another gun in play here? Probably this. Like, why would they do it once before and once after? Alright, let's connect. Let's try this. Evidence points to the shells being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who's to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Another visitor? Maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Another handgun and another visitor. That would make sense. If indeed there were two culprits, and that resolves the contradiction behind our murder weapon. Despite the fact that there are 2 bullets here in this room. The murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, leaving the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great! So you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth!
Sir, what are you saying?
This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I'd assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? Shit. The person I ran into was just your average thief.
Thief? Sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean 2?
It explains both why my shells were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Objection!
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me. Which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So then, this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, sir?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith?
Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir?
Probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because you were supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into this office to check it out.
Correct.
as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him. And then... bang! Killed him with his own gun. That's fucked up. He killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. Look how nervous he is. Sucker. And this was the moment in which the first shot was fired. The one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. There was another? Visitor, sir? Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. Stolen O file, right, sir? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So, the shell's getting messed up twice in the two bullets. It was all because two different people were doing those things at two different times. You're very nervous? Oh yeah, he's very nervous, yeah. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, Mr. Faith's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid! Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth after all, sir. Oh, I just added that sir out of instinct. I'm sorry.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is right, it would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point.
I have absolutely no proof at this point. Channeling Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, kind of. A little bit.
Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know something. I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. If the person you met really was just a plain old thief, then why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct.
Portsman's Alibi Part 2.
That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So, you think we should be out there looking for the thief?
Of course! Now isn't the time to be wasting time on dead-end discussions. I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? He's nervous. Sucker. I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Portsman's Alibi, Part 2. The thief should be the real suspect. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Why not? That's elementary. The dying message, of course. Mr. Faith's killer very clearly left those letters on the spines of those files. And it was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. You mean the O files, right? And that's how we also know that the letters themselves were a setup, and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Ah! Maybe the killer just didn't think of that either? Yes, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe. Should be out there looking for the thief.
Hold it!
Once escaped, I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. Maybe they didn't get what they were really after.
Oh, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
Ah, it's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything, after all.
He was training in his room, he says. But according to Mr. Faith's note...
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left the note for me in the early evening? If you have proof that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered.
I don't have any, no.
You see? So I insist again that I was in my office the entire time.
But then why would he have been there later in the day? There's no reason for him to come back. He was at Criminal Affairs.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Faith?
Ah, that's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know, those sofas in the hallway. He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
And what of the evidence he brought?
They were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items, a gun and a pendant.
Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks. Brought a gun and a pendant.
Hold it!
Gun and a pendant.
Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon. And this pendant, which belonged to the victim.
And why were you taking them to Criminal Affairs?
It was something in a past case I wanted to compare these two to. But all of this has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to your satisfaction.
It's all matching up with what Detective Gumshoe found out. Doesn't know what happened after he left.
Hold it!
Can't expect you to know, can I?
Nope, but I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions.
Oh, then let's see you deduce.
Jim waited for me to leave and then stole the master key. For the purpose of sneaking into your room, of course. And that's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed and the murder occurred. It's all exactly as I had laid out earlier.
I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. Just have to find a way to prove it. Real suspect, we should be looking. He said he was training in his room. And when Jim came to deliver evidence, he was at Criminal Affairs. Well, no, he should have been dead by then, right? When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. But he was saying... No, that can't be right because he delivered the evidence that he was taking to criminal affairs, right? Fan under the door. Should we try this? Let's try it. Let's just see what happens. Nope, not it. Would behoove you to take a look at this. See if he fails to see out anything to do with me. Yeah. Not at the top of my game, yeah. Gotta find the fatal flaw in his reasoning. He's saying that when Jim came to deliver the evidence, he was at criminal affairs, but he was supposed to be delivering the evidence at that time. Hold on. Let's see. Pages pertaining to a case tried 10 years ago by my predecessor are missing. It was stolen from the security office. No prints. Maybe this isn't the statement. So he can't be expected to know what happened after he left. Something in here that really sticks out. What are you thinking? He was in his room training. He's saying that he was down at criminal affairs, but isn't that when... Oh, I guess if he's saying that the note came earlier, so that's when the evidence was dropped off. And then he had the evidence, and then he left. But it's like, why did Jim come back to get himself killed? That's kind of weird. Like, why would he come back if he already dropped off? Body was found around 2:05 a.m. I just think it's weird that by his logic, Jim came twice to the prosecutor's office. He came once earlier in the day to drop off the evidence that he supposedly then went and dropped off to criminal affairs. But then he came back at around the time of the death. Got himself killed. It's like, what was he doing back here? What was the point of that? Believed to be the murder weapon, only fired once. Brought me 2 items, a gun. Oh, wait! There should be 3 items! That's wrong. Here we go. We can't count. Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you. Well, here's a piece I think you should read carefully. It says Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces. Yeah, what is the 3rd item? Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. I can't believe to get tripped up by some simple arithmetic. Where's the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe. You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe. Look at him. What? Don't come any closer! I'm warning you!
This is all part of the investigation, pal! So don't even think about stopping me!
Get him, Gumshoe!
No! Hey, what's this? You had this on him, sir.
Videotape. Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
Why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer.
Ooh, he looks nervous.
Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. KG8 incident?
Oh, look, blood! Ha, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Face blood?
No, you've got it all wrong! No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video.
Yeah, it's totally suspicious.
Was it at the time of his death? Was it at the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Faith.
No! Impossible! Aye!
Oh my god, it's chocolate! Fucking ate it!
Oh my god, you poser. Fucking chocolate medallion. You eat the foil too. March 14th, 5:47 a.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir.
It was nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies.
Oh, it was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person.
Poor girl. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor.
Why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard that there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
And they say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Ooh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession.
I never did get around to asking what his reasons for breaking into my office.
Yeah, whenever we get near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
That's just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well, well. With Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
Huh? That Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy?
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. Why this file?
Take that!
The person who stole this file, the other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. And what happened to the stolen pages. I wonder who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
Yes.
I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir.
This card.
What the fuck is this? What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
I have no idea. What is this?
It does kind of look like a bird with, like, little bird feet. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not just any bird. It is the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. That's weird. Even you should know what this is, Detective.
Fill me in, I'm dumb. How? It's about that thing, isn't it? The great thief everyone's talking about?
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu.
Oh shit, what?
Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end, a modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will.
Daily Express Special Edition, Yatagarasu haunts embassy. The noble Yatagarasu, vigilante of the business world, reappears. Okay.
Though we don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts.
Daily Express, the Yatagarasu reappears, corporate dealings exposed. 3 people are something.
The theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with a single card, although it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. I can't read this. How do you know that?
So, the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu. Organization. Quite a few key words keep popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Looking back, I can't say I didn't see these events coming, for they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
The end! We finished the tutorial!
Chapter 1 done.
Alright, let's... Francisca! Oh, that's exciting. Alright, let's save first. Okay. We're gonna stop here for the night because I'm kind of tired from doing errands all day. So I know it's a bit of a short, early night, but that was a really fun start. This game is different, but also the same. Still has the same spirit, but we get to play a smart person, which is Edgeworth. And we don't have to be in court. We try to catch the bad guy during the investigation instead of letting it drag out to court and be like, you're wrong, y'all didn't do your job properly. So it gives you a little bit more confidence in the justice system, which is kind of nice. But yeah, that was fun. Let me see. Do I know anybody streaming right now? No, I don't. I think the people I know are, like, not home. Or just not streaming. Anyway. That was fun. Tomorrow we resume FF14. It should also be raid night at 8 p.m. assuming that we get enough people on. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing MSQ probably. And then I have another week off from work still, so we'll keep going along with MSQ with, not sure what we're going to do Monday night yet or not, but still variety night Thursday, and then more of this game next Saturday. So if you want to watch more of this, be sure to hit that follow button if you're not already following, and we'll stream it again next Saturday around the same time-ish, hopefully a little bit earlier, because I usually like to start by like 6 on Saturday.
yeah, we'll just see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Hope it was fun. Hope it was entertaining. Hope y'all had a good time. This game's pretty damn good, I'd say. Definitely looks like it was meant for a mobile phone, so I understand why it's kind of like this. So, very cool. Yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good rest of the weekend. If I don't see you, see you tomorrow. But, yeah, see y'all again soon. Take care. Bye.